Hello, my name's Jason. Welcome to another episode of me painting. Today we're going to do something warm, something a bit warmer. So let's get started. Let's use a little bit of the Indian yellow. Just pulling a little bit of Indian yellow out on the 2-inch brush and tap, so you get an even distribution of colour. Okay, let's start here. And what I've done is I've covered the entire canvas previously with some liquid white. It makes the canvas wet, makes it slick, gives us the ability to blend colour right here on the canvas. Let's bring that yellow down to about there. Okay, now still with a dirty brush, let's get a bit of yellow ochre. Some yellow ochre. Let's on the outside of that. Yellow ochre's got a nice gold shade to it. Just using crisscross strokes, just so it blends easier. And then let's go on an outer bit. Let's use some dark sienna, a little bit of dark sienna. And that's got a little bit of an orangey brown flavour. And crisscross strokes again, all the way across. Put in that corner there, and maybe just tap into a little bit of the VanDyke Brown. Maybe we'll just darken that corner there with a bit of the VanDyke. There we go. Now using a clean dry 2-inch brush. Let's just lightly blend that out, so we can't see where one colour starts and another one finishes. Wherever. Okay, just go over that. Now we've got we're gonna have a sun in there, so let's grab a little bit of white just on the brush, and let's get a bit more. Just tapping into a little bit of white, and let's put a little light spot in here. Just a little light spot. Okay, and let's put a little sun in there. So let's use our finger. It's got a little bit of the titanium white. Then right here, that's where our sun is. Okay, and then back to our 2-inch brush. Let's just soften that. Okay, now let's use the detail knife that I'm a big fan of. Some yellow ochre mixed in with a detail knife. Yellow ochre, dark sienna. Let's get a bit of white in there. Maybe a bit more white. Just looking for a light browny colour to do our clouds. So you pull out very flat, and then cut across. You get a little roll of paint. Right, let's start putting in, just scraping in a few little stringy clouds. Maybe there's a bit that comes off there. You can do some fantastic clouds with just the knife. You can do your whole painting with just the knife if you wanted to. Thinking about ways the clouds can go. Just wherever. A bit there, just how you can do little taps, or maybe there's a bigger one that's up here. Maybe you go into a bit more of the dark sienna to make it a bit darker. Maybe that joins up there. That goes off. Up to you. Up to you. However you want it to be. Maybe there's a bit there. Maybe a bit there. Wherever you want. Maybe there's a bigger one there. Okay. And then maybe we can get a little bit of the yellow and white. Yellow and white. Cut across, little roll of paint. Let's just highlight the top of this cloud here. Just here and there. There's a bit there. Maybe there's a bit underneath this one. Wherever you want. Oh, we've got hair stuck there. So let's let's grab the 1-inch brush and just. Oh, it's being awkward. There we go. We got it. We got it. Let's just blend that bit there. Okay. No problem. And let's fix this. Let's fix this there. Okay, that'll do for our little sky using a knife. Now using the 2-inch. I mean the landscape knife, sorry. Let's grab some of this colour. Brown and yellow ochre. Dark sienna, yellow ochre mix. Let's pull it out very flat and then cut across a little roll of paint. And let's put in our mountain. Now our mountain sort of lives here. And pushing very hard. Just put in the top part of the mountain. Maybe the peaks there. And that sort of joins up like that. And then scrape off the excess paint. Scrape off the excess paint. You only want a little bit of paint on there. Let's get rid of that. And over here, it sort of just goes off. Okay. Now let's pull that out using the. Let's use the 1-inch brush. It's quite a small mountain, so it makes it easier. Pull it out. Thinking about angles, thinking about shapes, where your highlights and shadows live. Just knock the excess paint off. That comes down there. And the paint slides because of the liquid white that's on. It slides. That sort of goes. That pulls down like that. Maybe like that. Okay, now back to our. Let's use the detail knife and let's highlight some of these. Let's use some of that brown. Let's go into this white and yellow here. A bit more. Yeah, maybe that'll do. We'll try it. See if this is okay. Yeah, that's more to my liking. Cut across a little roll of paint, and that's our highlight is sort of here. And it's got the yellow and the brown. It's no pressure. No pressure. Just very lightly, so the paint breaks. And some over here. A bit more of the white just so it stands out around this area where our light sources. Okay, maybe some there. A bit more up here. Pull it out very flat, little roll of paint. Maybe it sort of comes here and then goes down. And a bit more of the white. Let's to make that more obvious in the middle, so the light is sort of singing round there. This is quite far away, so we don't need to do too much. Now a dark colour, just our mountain mix really. A little bit of brown. A little bit of the brown, just there. Get rid of that, it's a bit too dark. Okay, and a bit of the dark on this side as well. Even there, it's very light pressure, And then maybe we've got a bit of a dark bit there. You can get some of the highlight colour. Just clean that up, put a bit of a singer on there. Areas where you want more light to hit, just put that on. Okay, just clean that bit up there. Okay, that'll do. Then use the 1-inch brush, let's just tap. Following the angles, let's just tap. Just tapping. This is quite far away, so we don't want it to be too distinct. Soften that. Okay, now let's start putting in some trees in the background. Some dark sienna. Let's go into this mountain colour. Let's start putting in indication of a few trees back here. Just a few trees. Just blocking them in. maybe there's some here. Maybe there. Wherever. Now let's use a clean brush. Let's just get a little bit of the yellow. And let's just put some in there at the base. Just get a little bit of yellow there. A little bit of the Indian yellow. And then using a clean, dry 2-inch brush, let's tap the base. Create a misty area. Base of our trees all the way along, just creating our mist, just to send it a bit further back into the picture. Now let's get the liner brush, a little bit of paint thinner. Let's go into a little bit of this dark colour. We'll put in some little tree trunks in amongst here, and now maybe there's a tree there, just a little bit of the dark, but there's one here, wherever, just put them in, put little wiggles in, thinking about the way the trunk is. I mean, this is quite far away, so we just want a few little details here and there. Okay, now let's use, back to our 1-inch brush, let's pick up some, let's use get a bit of white in amongst this colour, a bit of the Indian yellow, and just tapping. And let's highlight a few of these, just tap. There we go. Indian yellow, bit of white, and just here and there. Just tap in some little highlights. But it's very, try and keep it very soft back there. And we're using a lot of yellows and browns. Just highlighting them here and there. They're still very far away. So we're just doing an indication of some little highlights. There's a bit of that one. Okay, now let's start bringing it forward. Let's use the big brush. Let's get some dark sienna on the brush, and let's put in our land. About here. Just blocking in colour. Just dark sienna. Put in our dark just so the light will show. I've used dark sienna because we've used it in the mountain and in the sky, and it'll give our painting some colour harmony. All goes to plan. Now let's start putting in the grass. 2-inch brush. Let's get some yellow ochre, Indian yellow. Just push the bristles, and you get a little ridge of paint. You get one of those on your brush. Now let's tap in a little bit of indication of where the grass is. Just tap in, and the more you tap, the softer it gets. Okay. Now let's just grab a bit more of that dark colour. Let's just bring that across. And there's a tree. There's a big tree that lives here. He sort of lives there. He does now. He sort of lives there. Just thinking about shape and form in your tree. And there's the bush there as well. Okay, and let's grab. Let's use a liner brush again. Let's put in the tree trunk, a little bit of paint thinner, go into the white and brown, just to make it a little lighter so we can see. And let's put in our tree trunk and just give it a wiggle. Make the trunk more interesting with a few little sticks. Okay, that'll do. And then what you can do is you can go back into your dark, and you can put in some dark just to send it in the tree. And let's use our other 1-inch brush. Let's get a bit of the Indian yellow, yellow ochre, Cad Yellow. Push up a little bit of paint, and let's highlight these. Just touching here and there. Wherever you think it needs a highlight, put it in. Thinking of all the different branches, but leave some of those dark areas, and maybe some of the light has just gone and it's touching certain areas of the tree. Not all of it though, we don't want to do too much. maybe on the top. There we go, that'll do. Now let's go back to our big brush, go back to the big brush, and let's go into our yellows, and let's put in a bit of green as well now. As we're coming forward, go into a bit more colour, a bit more of the green. Let's just tap, just tapping, create the shape. Okay, just tapping, following, think about the lay of the land. And stop here. And there's a path, let's put the path in. Using our fan brush, we've got a path with some VanDyke Brown. Let's put this path in, it sort of comes down here. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it gets to there. Okay, let's back to our big brush. Some of the yellows. So a bit more green in there. A bit more green. Touch, push up. Let's start tapping some grass down here. And the more you tap, the softer it gets. Actually, before we do that, we want to do a bit of a highlight. A bit of white. A bit of white. Let's just highlight here and there. Just here and there, let's just put in a little. Okay, and then also got a tree that lives there, so let's put him in. And he's the closest out of the trees, so let's make him a bit darker. Starts here, and then comes up, and he sort of hangs. Just tapping. He sort of hangs down there. Just thinking about angles, little individual branches. There's a big tree. Big tree. And there's a couple of bushes there. Okay, now let's go back to our fan brush. Let's go into the VanDyke Brown one side, and then let's grab a bit of that white on the other side. So we've got brown and then white, and then we can put in indication of our trunk. We get the highlight and the shadow all in one. And maybe there's a bit there. Okay, then back to our liner brush. Bit of the light colour. Let's start putting in a few branches here and there. We don't know how many trees are here. There's one behind maybe. You'll notice in those light areas that's where your branches will show up the best. And just wherever you want. You could even use the knife and scrape in a few here and there. Right, let's go back to the 1-inch brush. Let's get some of this Indian yellow. Let's get some bright red. Let's make a real powerful colour. And let's highlight some of these. Let's go for a bit here, maybe there, individual branches, the way they're hanging, or maybe there. There's one there. Let's warm the painting up. And maybe there. Let's put in some more bushes there. Still with a dirty brush. Liquid white, just dipped into liquid white. Let's get some of this yellow, Cad Yellow. Pull in one direction. You get a little bush on your palette. And then you spin over. So you get your rounded edge at the top. And just touch and push. You can create all these lacy type effect. Little bushes. Okay, maybe there's one. Maybe there's one over here. Let's get a bit of that red. Let's put one there. Why not? There's another one there. Let's start putting that grass. Finish that grass off. Let's go over that path. Just tapping. Let's bring that over there. Just to send the path down, you need like the grass to grow on the top to make it look like the path's been there a while. And then let's just clean it up underneath there. Can even get a little bit of the colour in, and just push. Okay. Just a little bit more texture here and there. Let's just tap those bits away. If you don't like anything, you can just get rid of them. Okay, let's scratch in a few little sticks in there, got some in there. Let's call this one finished. Let's say this one's finished. There's quite a lot to practice in there. Mountains, trees, bit of grass. So let's put in a J. Maybe let's just cross that and a little bit. Okay, thanks very much for watching this painting. It's a good, fun, easy one that you can do, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Cheers.